Hello everybody, today we are gonna create a simple chat app with ReactJS and SocketIO. The application logic will be very simple, it can be understandable for everyone. At first we will take the name of the user, so many clients can join the chat room and send messages each other. We will be deploying our SocketIO server to Heroku, and we will be using ready-made and designed components. We are not going to write the components from scratch. Before I recording the video, I created a simple mockup to show the application to you. Okay, there are many components on the UI. There will be a header component which has the title and the user subcomponents in it, and the center of the application there will be a message list, and the bottom of the application there will be a new message input. And you can see this is our tech stack: React, Typescript, SocketIO, Node.js, and Heroku for deployment, and design for our ready-made components. Okay, let's jump in. Okay, let's create our project first. npx create react app chat client template TypeScript. Just the informative note: npx create react app command let us create a template project folder with the predefined webpack rules configs. Okay, our command has finished its tasks. At first, I want to change my directory to chat client, which is created by the command. And then I want to open my project with the Visual Studio Code. Let's start our local development environment. When it is starting, I want to clean up some things. Okay, our cleanup is finished. A browser tab is opened automatically by the npm start command. Here is the empty screen. Before we start, I want to install my design package and check for the documentation of installation. There is a section here using create react app. Okay, I was looking for this. We are going to add this line to app.css file. And package installation has finished. So we are ready to develop our application. At first, I want to change this tag to semantic HTML tag of main. Okay, at first we don't need a class name, and there will be a header component. There is a problem in my editor. I'm waiting for warming up the autocomplete. Okay, this header component is coming from our AMP design library, and there will be a span in it. We will write chat app, and also there will be an avatar from AMP design. User, and there will be a section of list of messages. Message list, and there will be a footer section of the new message input message section. Let's check our application screen. Okay, our header is here. Let's write some sample text here. Message list. Okay, voila, they are here. So let's write some styles. I want that my main tag will be display flex, and flex direction will be column. This auto completion is coming from GitHub scope load, which is located here. Justify content, space between. Let's check them in the DOM tree. Here is our main. There is also root tag, root ID tag here. It's coming from here. I want this tag to be expanded to the end of the page, so I will write some style here for HTML body and root. Okay, it has been expanded, but main is still not expanded. Maybe we can write flex 1. No, I will try from here. Okay, here is it what I want. We can delete this line and add height 100%. In my header component, I want to show these small pieces in a correct way, so I will write some style app header. We are giving a class name of this component, and then we can assign a style here. Okay, we can also use flex stem here. Okay, padding is suits us. We will delete the height, we will delete the background and box shadow, and we can also add color white. We forgot to say this. This is not what we want. We have to group these items together. So, oops. Okay. Maybe we can add some inline style to this element. Font size. Okay, that's cool. I think our header component is ready. Maybe we can separate this component from the app.txt. I'm cutting these lines, creating a app header folder with index.txt file and IMR and functional component snippets, writing app header to it and returning these codes. I'm importing these components from design and this is from React. So our component is ready, but I want this component in a components folder. I'm moving in it and creating index.ts file for importing these components from other components easily. So I want to write export default as app header from app header. Oops, that's fine. Now we can delete these lines and add app header component to here and import just like this. Maybe this component takes a property like username. I am giving, and we can define our username property in app header component. GitHub Copilot is automatically providing this line for us. That's cool. We can destruct this prop in the component and maybe we can check the nullify, but it has to be true. It has to be true, but I want to check it. Maybe someone can send an empty string in it. I want to take the first letter of the username, so let's write username, the first index of the username, and to upper case, and we can also write the full of the username here. Okay, let's check our component. Okay, it took to Mehmet from outside of the component. It has been a reusable component. Let's continue to create our messages here. Before we creating our message list, we need a component, a simple component for a single item of message. So I want to use a ready-made component from UntDesign again. Let's check UntDesign component library. In the display section, data display section, there are some useful components. I want to use component here. There is a avatar, username, date, message here, and some useful actions. Let's check out the code. Here is the main component here. I can copy and create a component file named chatBubble, and we will create a component function called chatBubble and return the common component. Let's import. I imported the avatar, tooltip. Command is not automatically coming, but I can add here. We are not going to use actions, so we can delete this line. Maybe we can also use the moment library. So I want to add this package with the npm install command in the command line section. While it is installing, maybe we can define our properties. Because we want this component to be a reusable component, we need username as string, we need message, we need time. It's very cool feature. GitHub Copilot AI is writing lines for us, and our moment package is ready to import, so we can import. And we don't want link here, so we can delete. Okay, our component is ready. We can import here. But we need to export this component at first. Chatbubble. Our component index file, so we can now easily import in app.tsx. And we need to provide props. Get time. Maybe we can define this as number and message string. Voila, it's ready. Let's check our component here. Okay, that's cool. Here's our time, username, message here. We need to pass these properties. At first, let's destruct our properties, time, message, username, and also I want it here and the message, and we can pass our time in the datetime section. Okay, that's cool. Our single message component is ready, but I want to repeat these items, so let's create a sample data. I want to use my local state, so messages and set messages, and GitHub Copilot automatically filled line. Maybe we can define a model, message model, because we are using Typescript for static type checking. Let's use the Typescript features here. So I'm creating a model folder and message folder, message file, model file, and export interface message and username string, time number, message string. That's enough for now. As you know, it has been same with the chat bubble property types. We can use this message model also here, so I'm importing this model and deleting the interface. So okay, that's cool. Also, I will use this model here and creating a sample array from and then I want to map my simple list. Oops, sorry. Okay, that's cool. There's a syntax error here. This is my return, and we need also a parenthesis here. Okay, that's cool. We can pass a key. I think there has been a problem. Value index, no, there is no problem. We can pass the time here. Okay, that's cool. Okay, we didn't create sample objects in the sample array, so there is no time property in it. Okay, that's cool. That's enough for initial setup. Our message list almost ready, and I want to create our footer section with an input. So I want to check input in the undesign UI library. There is an input section here, so there are lots of examples, and I want to this example Okay, I think this is the code block. Let's import these components from design and button also. Almost ready. There is a problem here. Let's check our DOM. There is a already written style width. Maybe we can change this value here. I think this is the button width, so it's okay right now. 77. Maybe we can also create a separate component for the input. So I'm going to go ahead and creating a component folder here named new message. And I'm cutting these lines, I'm pasting here, and again I'm importing these components from design. We need to extract the user input from this component to main component, so we need some callback here on submit, like this. We will return a message string. We will take the message string and pass the main component. So we need to hold the value of input. I want to use reference. Input ref here, and pass this ref to the input. Legacy ref. No. Okay, let's pass just any here, and we can take this value with two events: when user presses the enter or when the user clicks the submit button. So I will create a local on submit method and take the message if there is a message from the user, then we can send the message to outside of the component with the onSubmit callback, and then we can clear the input value for the next message. GitHub Copilot is already writing this line, and now we can use our local on submit method on key press event here. If e not dot key equal to enter, then we can call our onSubmit method and take the value from the reference here. Okay, that's cool. And also, okay, we don't need to pass the message parameter here. We can also access our reference from everywhere. So I'm creating a constant here and taking the value from reference and checking and clearing the state of the input. That's cool. And also we can use this method in the on-click event of the button. And now we can use our new message component, but at first I want to export this component from my component index. And let's take our onSubmit callback and message value here, and I want to log this value. Let's check in the browser. As you can see, there is a message value here, but there is a problem. When we use the key press event, the input value is still there, but when we click the button, the value of the input is clearing. So there is a problem here. We need to check. Okay guys, I couldn't come over the bug. I wanted to take the input value from the reference object, but there has been a small bug here. I want to change this method like this. I'm going to use the local state here. And the type is going to be a string here. Now we can clear the message like this by setting the state. We can delete the ref line here, and we can use onPress enter event directly and call onSubmit. We can delete these lines. And we have to set the message state value while typing, so we need to handle it in the onChange event here. So GitHub Copilot suggesting this line, Now we can try again and the same result here. We couldn't come over the issue. Okay. If there is a message, send it to the main component by using the callback and set message null here. Okay, we need to add this line because we created a controlled input component here. Okay, that's cool. What we did at first, I wanted to use the reference because I didn't want to render our component while every typing of a message of a letter. So I want the final result of the message value, but there have been a problem. When we use the reference object, we couldn't clear the input value. So I changed the method of holding the message value. When we type a letter, every single letter, we change the state with the set message method. We set it to message object here. And then when we enter or when we click the submit button, we take the message string from the state object and send out of the component, and then cleared our message state value. Okay, we have seen two of methods using ref and using local state. Now we can continue to develop our application. The main layout is ready. Maybe we can write some style here. There's a scroll here and we cannot see all the components at our first look. I want to write some styles in app.css file. Maybe we can give a class name to the section message list, and height 100% and overflow y scroll. Let's look at our screen. Okay, that's cool. Our header is fixed, our footer is fixed, but message list is scrollable here. That's cool. Let's close our console here. And I'm going to go ahead and take the message string from the input and write to our sample data. Let's continue. Here is message value here. Maybe we can create a new message method and take our message string and we can set our messages list in the state like this. GitHub Copilot suggests like this, but not fully correct. We can get time here. and voila, it's okay. Now we can call this method from here. We can also delete these lines. And we can pass our maybe we can change these properties like this. We can keep our old interface and maybe write message here, and then we can destruct the properties like this. Okay, that's cool. Now in here we can just pass the item here, like this. We can pass our message node.time. We are not going to use index, and we can pass an empty array here for initial setup. Okay, let's create our messages. Okay, that's cool, it's working here. Maybe we can add some padding here, a better look. 20px is pricing, yes. Oops, sorry. And maybe we can add a feature like this. When user inputs a new message, we can scroll the container automatically. So we need to access our section reference when we add a new message. So I'm creating a ref here, message list ref, and also defining, and React Copilot automatically suggests us, and it's correct. Now we can use scroll to method here. We need to go to bottom of the list, so we have to set our position here. This line I think is correct, but we need to add a question exclamation mark here, and also here. That's cool. And I want this section scroll smoothly, so I need to add this line. Okay, let's try it. Can you see that? Smoothly scrolls. Yeah, that's cool. Our main layout is ready. Before we are continuing to implementation of SocketIO, we need to take the name of the user. So we need a component, like, let's look in the library of AntDesign, like this. We will open a model and there will be input in it. Okay, let's create our component. Called login model. We will be creating functional components. And we can import model component from design, and we need to pass the visibility. And we need a callback here, but maybe we can pass the input value to context, so we can use this global value from everywhere. But we also need in header component, but using a context API sample will be a good example for us. Okay, let's design our model component. We need a form item and input in it, a simple text input, and a submit button. We can write login. We can set the HTML type, submit here. Okay, that's cool. We can wrap these items with, sorry for the autocomplete issue, with form. We can define a username here for getting the value. On finish means that when the user clicks login button, we can take the values of the form. In our example, we got only username, we can log our values. That's cool. As you know that Modal is a ready-made component, so there are some features with it. We can set our title, login, and there are ready-made buttons like this. So we can delete the button and use the models button on click event, so we can use this callback. Let's define a local on OK method here. Oops, sorry. And we can submit our form with this button, but we need a reference of form, so we can define a reference and pass this reference to the form component. Okay, that's cool. When the user clicks these buttons, there will be an input here. the on OK callback method will be called and the form submit will be fired. When the form submit, we will take our values on finish method here. Okay, we can delete this button. Let's show our model on the screen, but at first we can export login model component in the component index file. After export, now we can use this component in app tsx file, login model, and I want to pass the visible property as true because I want to view the model. Maybe we can move this model like this because it's not a part of the main tree. Okay, that's cool, it's working. And we can take the username value like this, but I want to make some arrangements on the model. I don't want to be closed by the user. The user has to pass his or her username, because a username is mandatory for us. We have to separate our message objects and write our username to application header component, so user cannot be closed. And there is a closable property on the model. I will set it to false, and there is also a cancel button here. I also want to hide this button by accessing the cancel button props with this property. We can set the buttons properties with this property, like style display none. Okay, that's cool. Oops, cancel button has gone away, so user cannot close this model. Now we are ready to assign the username value to the context for global access, and now we can create our context. Let's create a context folder, and there will be a context tsx file. I want to export my context, so I'm giving a keyword export. We will be using our create context helper method from React. We are not going to use any third-party libraries such as Redux. We are just creating a simple app, so the context is okay for us. So I will be passing our values, username, and set user name method here. This set username method will take username as string. Also we can correct here like this, and maybe we can offer the first letter of that context. Okay, let's continue to create our provider. Const add context provider. App context provider will be a component, and we will return the provider. Okay, that's cool. And we will pass the props. Children. Here. Children. We have to set our value here. We will pass our username and set username methods with local state. Thank you, Google, GitHub Copilot. We will pass this username here, and we will fill the body of the set username like this. And we can export this component as default from this file, so we can use it in everywhere for wrapping our component tree. Okay, that's cool. Our context is ready for usage. I wanted it at the top of my component tree, so I want to use in here. Now our values are available in all my components, so we can use like this. We are going to use context hook from React and take the app context from the file, app context file, but we are going to use this. This is a export normal export. We have to wrap the app context with the curly braces, and we will extract the username value from the context and pass it to the app header component. That's cool. The username section has gone because the username value is empty. We will fill it from here. So at first, if username value is empty, visible property will be true. So we have to check from here. Username is falsy, this will return true and model will be visible. Otherwise, model will be visibility will be false. So let's check the flow. It's cool. Now we can set our value from here. So we can extract the set username method from context like this context, app context. Okay, we imported the app context from app context file and use it in the login model and extracted the set username method here, and we can now use this method, fire this method here like these values. Username. So let's refresh our app. Okay, that's cool. I provided my username like Mehmet, and when I provided it, the login model visibility has been false, and set it to context for global usage, and now we can see our username in the header component. That's cool. Now we are ready to use this username value in our new message section like this. Okay, because we have already extracted this username value, so this is a cool ECMAScript feature. The property and the constant name is same, so we can use like this, but in ECMAScript 6 we can also use like this. Okay, that's cool. Now we can set our username in the message object like this. That's cool. Okay, our application logic is ready for local usage, but as you know that we want to use SocketIO for multi-client usage. Let's continue to implement our SocketIO. Okay guys, now we can create our SocketIO server with Node.js and Heroku. We are not going to create a project from scratch. We will be using the SocketIO sample project, so we can make a search like this: SocketIO chat sample GitHub, and we can now access the sample from the official SocketIO repository. Let's look at the codes. This is very simple. We are importing SocketIO and just using it on chat message event. Just emit all the clients this message. This is our simple application logic. I just want to clone it to my own repository, and I will make some modification here. We need to add course policy, so let's fork this project first. Okay, the fork is done. Now we can get the code by copying the URL here and git clone has been already created. Sorry, I have to delete it first. Remove chat example. Okay, now we are ready to clone. We can go into chat example folder and open VS Code. I just want to modify this line only. We can pass this configuration, course, origin, allow from all, because we are developing our project from localhost, so we need to give access to our local project. We can set a commit like this: course pulse, update and push to our master branch. Okay, that's cool. Now we are ready to deploy our project. If you look at the readme section of the repository, there is a deploy to Heroku button. It's a shortcut for deploying our application. Okay, that's cool. We go to the Heroku site and we can give our application name, chat app, socket, okay, that's cool. Chat app socket sample is available. I'm choosing Euro because it is more close to me, and I'm clicking the deploy app button. Build succeeded, and our application will be ready after a while. Now we can view our application like this, and there is also index HTML file here. We can just test our application. That's okay, it's working. Now we have to install SocketIO npm package to our React client app. So I am switching npm install socket.io -client. This is our npm package name. That's cool. And we can create a socket file and import our SocketIO client and creating our socket instance like this, and maybe we can lock our socket connection here. That's cool. We need to change this URL. Our URL is here. Now we are ready to use our SocketIO client. We exported this instance so we can use from it everywhere. I want to listen the messages which is coming from the socket. So in the component did mount cycle, I want to listen my socket, and we will listen chat message here because it is written in the server. It's predefined in the server section, and message object will come as a parameter, function parameter, and let's log this message and give it a name, message from socket. Okay, this is our local development environment. We are listening our chat message event here and logging the message value. Our clients are here. This is the remote client and this is the local client here. Let's create some message value, and okay, I just want to refresh our app, local app, and again okay, there are some problems. I think there is a course problem here. Yes, we have a course problem. Okay, I think there has been a deployment problem. Maybe it has been deployed from the original repository. So I want to make a correlation between my own repository for deploying. At first, we need to connect our GitHub repository. Let's search with chat keyword and find our chat example repository and connect. Let's enable automatic deploys and create a new deployment from our master branch, and let's check our repository. Chat example. We created a commit course policy update. Let's check it. We add some configuration to our SocketIO import. It is here. Okay, that's cool. Deployment has finished. It's still working. Okay, that's cool. Yes, that's the right that was the right quest. It was related to deployment. I think it has deployed from the original repository when we click the deploy button. But when we connect the GitHub, our GitHub repository, the course problem has gone away. So let's check our messages here, and voila, message from socket ST, and our latest message was ST from our remote client. So it's working. Now we can insert these messages to our local state here. As you know, we have created our messages stateless. When a new message come from socket, we have to call this message here like this on new message. That's cool. React warns us on new message can change every render. As you know that when we set a state, every item in a function will be redefined like this function. So we have to wrap this function with React use callback. Oops. We need to close this parenthesis here. Okay, there is a syntax error here. We don't need to close this parenthesis here and now, which is okay. And there is also one more thing to do. We need to send our message to everyone, to every clients. So we need to call socket on socket emit chat message here like this. Let's try. Okay, that's cool. Let's look our logs in WebSocket section. Username Mehmet, and our connection is ready. Voila. Here is our messaging log. That's cool. I think it's finished. Maybe we can try the messaging from the other clients. Let's visit from this tab and give a username like test. Okay, let me arrange the window here. Okay, I opened 2 more browser tabs and I am logging like test and test2, and as you can see there are 3 different clients. I'm writing from Mehmet, hi all, and as you can see the message has been shown from all the clients. Hi all from test, but and there is a problem here. We can separate the message objects, when I typing from my client, we can show this message on the right side, and we can show the others messages on the left side. Let's make this. As you know, we are rendering the chat bubble component here. Maybe we can pass a property is owner, and we can determine the bubble owned or not. So we can use a username value for comparing the message username. If the login username is equal to message username in the iteration, it means that the chat bubble is owned by the login user. So we can align the chat bubble on the right side for the owner. Okay, let's define our owner property in chat bubble component here with boolean type, and we can pass this. Is owner value in here, but we need to write some style for it, like this. Let's pass a class name chat bubble and data is owner property, like this. We will be using this property in style section. It's the way of passing some values to style section. It's a very commonly used method. Okay, let's go into app CSS file and create our class selector like this, and this will be our default styling. And also this is a structure of attribute is owner. Oops. I think it will be like this. If data is owner true, maybe we can set the background color different than others, and we can justify content flex and in the main section we can set the display property as flex align items. No. Okay, let's check out our UI. In the UI, all the message items aligned to right side, but I don't want it. We have to change something on styling. justify content flex start by default. Okay guys, that's debug our component. I want to log the is owner property here. Is owner true? I think there is a recursion problem. We run the problem here. Let's create our refresh our app, and I will close this tab here. I cannot close. I think there's a problem. Okay, there have been a lifecycle issue on our project. I want to clear this use callback. And I want to remove this dependency from here. Maybe we can add disable next line. Yeah. Yes, linked. Whatever. We need an extra method here. We are passing only message string, but we need to pass a message object like this to the socket server. So I want to create emit message method here, and message string as a function parameter, and we can create a message object, and we can now pass username, time, and message, and then we can emit chat message event to the socket server with the new message object, and then we can call this method from the message on submit callback. So now let's try again. This is our clients. Let's emit a message. Oops, there has been a problem here. Let's check it. Okay. Another record. Let's follow the data flow. We are emitting a message with the emit message, and creating a message, new message object, and emitting this object with socket emit, and then we are listening this chat message event and passing this message object on new message function, and on new message function We are not passing string, we are passing a message object here, and we are not creating an object like this. We are just pushing a new item to the messages array and scrolling down to container. So let's check it. Okay, there's a problem. Our messages are coming from socket. There is no problem. Also, this message is coming from test client, but there is a render problem on the message list. Let's check it. Yeah, we are setting new message object here to the message list. Maybe we can log our messages here. Let's comment this line for hiding console error. Message from socket is working, but console log messages are not working. I don't know why. Because set state is not working, and so our function is not re-rendered, and so we cannot see console log here. We can see that a new message method called, so let's check it. No, it's not being called. Oh, okay, it's called, and surprisingly the message is also called, but there is a problem here again. We can only see one item in the list. Maybe we can use this method in a different way. Okay, as you remember that this set messages method line is suggested by the GitHub copilot, and it's wrongly suggested, so we don't have to, so we cannot trust GitHub copilot all the time. It is the correct way to setting a state in React. We are using the inner inner value here as a parameter, and then spreading our list and pushing a new item on it, so React renders the component correctly when we use this way. And we can also uncomment these lines. Let's check it. From Mehmet, from test. As you can see that this is the message coming from Mehmet, and this is the message from this client. So this is aligned to the right side, and this message is aligned to the left side. This is what this is what we want. Maybe we can make some styling here, like this. This is our component. Maybe we can adjust fit content here, but we are break down something. How can be aligned in the message? Maybe we can use align self flex and justify self flex and no. Okay. We can add display flex and flex direction column on the message list component, and then we can add chat bubble with content, and for the is owner flag we can set flex, and for the align self property, so we can enter a message from test. This is our owned message, and we can just add align self flex and okay. Now we draw a different UI for the owned messages very clearly. This is the message from other clients, and this is my owned message. Okay, let's write our styling here, and maybe we can add some gap between the chat bubbles. 8 pixels, and we can add, this is the wrong way, align self. Maybe we can add some padding to the chat bubble, and maybe we can add some border radius like this. Okay, that's cool. Now we can close our clients here. That's cool. We have finished our project. We are running this project from our local. Maybe we can also deploy our React clients to the Heroku or somewhere else like Netfly or Versal. I will be pushing these project to my GitHub repository. Let's write initial commit. And let's go to GitHub repo. New repository. Chat client React SocketIO. It will be public. Let's create it. Copying these lines and pasting here. Okay, our repository is ready for deployment. Let's visit the Heroku. New app. Chat client React SocketIO. Europe is closer to me. We have reached our limit. Maybe I can delete my apps. Just a second. Okay, I just deleted the old app and continued creating. Let's connect to GitHub and search for the chat client repository and then connect. Enable automatic deploys and deploy our main branch. Heroku is a very useful platform. It determines which build pack to use for this app and runs commands automatically like npm install, npm build, and extracts the build artifacts and deploy it to deploy like this. It is already create our application URL. Okay, our deployment process is unsuccessful. Let's check out our logs. I don't know why an error record. I think the progress is still continue. This is my first time for deploying a React app on Heroku. Says that it's deployed. Let's check it. I think Heroku is not suitable for React projects. Maybe we can try Netfly. So we can import an existing project from GitHub and search chat client repository. And this is our build command and publish directory. Let's deploy site. Okay, Netfly deployment process has successfully finished. We can preview our website just clicking the preview button, and we can log in our application, creating some sample messages. Maybe we can also log in from another client. Test from test. Because it's the same username. From Mehmet, and voila, from Mehmet, from test, and from test. Okay, guys, we finished our simple chat application with ReactJS and SocketIO. We deployed our SocketIO server to Heroku and deployed our client to Netfly. I couldn't deploy the client to Heroku, I don't know why, but we successfully deployed to Netfly. I will share the server and the client published links in the description section. So thank you for watching me, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.